is simply a lie. I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
The people understand, Joe.
They sure
47 years you've done nothing.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen.
President Trump and Vice President Joe Biden wasted no time throwing insults at each other last night. Everything you missed during the long-awaited presidential debate.
I get excited about the history that we're looking at here, the history that's been basically archived and boxed up for 50 years that's now coming out again.
History for sale. Out of this world treasures will be up for bid this week from a local auctioneer.
And hazy skies are on the way for your Wednesday forecast, but it's not really going to affect our air quality, and breaking down all of that coming up.
Up with KREM begins now.
No,
He doesn't want
you're a
to answer the
senator.
question.
I'm not going to answer the question
Why
because
would you answer that
because
question?
the question
You want to put a lot of
the
new
question
Supreme Court
is
justice,
the
radical
question,
left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
This
Who's
is
on your
so
list?
Gentlemen,
this is,
I think
this
we've
is
ended
so
this.
He's going to pack the
unprecedented.
court.
Last night's debate had some very cringe-worthy moments from both candidates. Most of the night was spent talking over each other and the moderator. More people are really talking about how annoyed they were watching, not really who won.
Yeah, and this morning some of you have asked if mics can be shut off so the candidates can get their words out in the future debates. We want to know what you think. Text us right now at 509-448-2000. Let us know if you would like to see microphones shut off during future debates. We'll continue talking about your responses coming up in the next 5 minutes. Now, Tim, I think a lot of this comes because people were looking for answers to very specific questions. It's been a tough year in 2020. There's a lot of questions they needed answered.
Yeah, and going back to the mic conversation, one of the things is from a technical standpoint, people would really have to stay on top of making sure mics are turned back on. So, I think there's a lot of mixed decision, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So before we dive into that debate, we do want to get into some breaking news from overnight. At least 7 people lost their home after an apartment fire on the Lower South Hill this morning. So Nicole Hernandez is there now. Nicole, do we know the cause of this fire yet?
Yeah, Tim, so at this point, we do not know what caused this fire. Investigators are still working to figure that out, but you can see just how much damage it caused. These 3 apartments behind me, it's the top right corner that is completely charred here. 3 of these units in this apartment complex were at Sunset Hills apartment complex just off of Sunset Highway. Those 3 units ended up destroyed from this fire, and the families inside of those apartments are now without homes. So a total of 7 people displaced. Again, we don't know what caused these fires yet, but we were getting a lot of questions from you viewers online about a potential explosion noise that you heard from the South Hill area earlier this morning around the time that this fire broke out. So we do not know exactly the circumstances of that, whether or not that caused this yet, but we will make sure to keep you updated if we do figure that out. So for now, the good news though is that nobody was hurt in this process. Now obviously you can see some crews in working on cleanup process. We just still have 1 fire crew here working just to make sure that no hot spots flare back up this morning, keep all of the other residents safe and sound. But for now, the residents who are displaced are waiting on Red Cross to help them find a place to stay for the time being. And as we get any new information, we'll make sure to bring that to you. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Glad to hear no one was hurt. Nicole, thank you. Well, Dana Marie, we do want to get to you now. This morning, we're expecting wildfire smoke to move towards Washington once again. But the good news is you're telling us that our air quality shouldn't be impacted too much.
That's right, Tim. When you think about smoke, we had such a hazardous stretch of that 2 weeks ago, and that's not the case. Now, wildfire smoke in California is being pushed our way, but it's going to stay in the upper atmosphere higher in the sky, so that's not going to affect our air quality here in Spokane and the inland Northwest. Do take a look at this haze, widespread haze in our area, even some smoky air quality in Medford, even on the west side a little bit, but for our area, we're looking at good. It's currently good, and it's going to stay that way. It should get a lot clearer by tomorrow. Just a beautiful sunset for us here in the area. 51 degrees right now in Spokane, 47 in Coeur d'Alene, chilly in Sandpoint, Idaho, 37 degrees, but we're going to warm up much more as we get on through the rest of your afternoon. 79 degrees for your high. Winds are calm at 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. It's a perfect time to get outside. Enjoy this weather, but if you're thinking, oh, I can't get outside today, I have a lot to do, don't worry. That 80-degree temperature is going to last through Saturday, 70s even for next week. So I'm going to break all of that down coming up in my full forecast.
Thank you very much, Dana Marie. 7:05 now. This morning, police are searching for a Post Falls teen this morning. According to police, 15-year-old Jamison Jeffries was last seen at his home Monday morning around 3:30. Police say he has made comments and read books about trying to be a survivalist in the woods. If you've got any information on where he might be, you are asked to contact the Post Falls Police Department. Police also continue to search for a missing Newport teen who's now been gone over 2 weeks. Take a look at this picture of 19-year-old Jason Fox. Police are calling his disappearance suspicious. Outside agencies are now assisting in this case, including the Washington State Patrol. Anyone with any information is asked to call Newport Police. Now, this morning, we are happy to update you about 2 missing teens we told you about yesterday on Up with KREM. Sophia from Spokane and Levi from Bonner County have both been found by police. Tim?
Joshua, thank you. Happening today, a former Pasco police officer will be formally charged for a woman's murder that took place in the 1980s. He will be charged and arraigned this morning. Richard Aguirre is charged with first-degree murder in connection to the murder of 27-year-old Ruby Doss. He was previously charged with her murder in 2015. It was dismissed in 2017 due to a lack of evidence. Court documents say the new murder charge was filed on September 11th.
Well, during their first presidential debate last night, President Donald Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden were asked about a number of topics. First, we're going to hear what they had to say about their responses to the coronavirus pandemic.
This is the same man
It's
who
all
told
set
you
up.
by Easter this would be gone away.
He wants to shut down this country, and I want to keep it open.
Of course, that is just one of the many moments that happened last night during the debate, and there were plenty more to talk about. Of course, one other topic of conversation was the stock market. Another one was the future of the potential economy in the country. Just a few among many. All of that, of course, was interrupted by crosstalk, and interrupting that really did stand out, and it happened between all 3 men throughout the night. It's a huge topic of conversation online right now, and we'll talk about it here in just a second. But first, we do want to look at a CBS poll from right after the debate. CBS News asked their voters, how did the debate make you feel? Most responders say they came away feeling annoyed. That was the top feeling among both candidates' supporters. So this does have a lot of people wondering, what if future debates feature just one mic on at a time? So we want to ask you what you think. Is there a better way to deal with these types of interruptions during a debate like this? We want you to share your thoughts with us at 509-448-2000. You're seeing some of them here, Tim.
Yeah, you know, one thing we should mention is that many people are saying, yes, cut their mics. There's only a very few people responding in this morning saying that, no, you should keep them open. So right now, people are definitely weighing towards, yes, being able to cut the mic. So go ahead and let us know what you think, 509-448-2000. And like you said, Joshua, a lot of talk online is surrounding the frustration people have with the chaotic interruptions. First, let's talk about this moment from last night.
Law enforcement, almost every law enforcement group in the United States. I have Florida, I have Texas, I have Ohio, I have Portland. The sheriff just came out today and he said, I support President Trump. I don't think you have any law
Well, the so-called Portland sheriff tweeted a response last night. It says, in tonight's presidential debate, the president said the Portland sheriff supports him. As the Multnomah County sheriff, I have never supported Donald Trump and will never support him. People were also going after Chris Wallace, who was moderating the debate. He was also criticized for letting the candidates talk over him and each other. This tweet has gone viral that says, "Take away Chris Wallace would not be able to stop my kids from fighting." Here's a clip from just one of those moments between Wallace and the president.
Let me ask my question.
Well, I'll ask Joe. The individual mandate was the most unpopular aspect of Obamacare. I got rid of it.
I'd like you
and we will protect
Mr.
people
President,
with
I'm the
pre-existing
moderator of this
conditions.
debate, and I would like you to let me ask my question, and then you can answer your question.
Well, here's another tweet poking fun at Chris Wallace's attempt to interrupt President Trump by repeating, "Mr. President," over and over. And on a lighter note, Mark Hamill, who is best known for playing Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars, tweeted that the debate was the worst thing I've ever seen, and I was in the Star Wars holiday special. So yeah, a lot of people poking fun at all of the interrupting, because that's really all you could really hear last night. As
a avid Star Wars fan,
yeah.
Tim, I agree 100% with Mark Hamill that Star Wars Christmas special, holiday special was not good. I'm glad that we can find moments of levity, because it was a tough night for anyone in the country to sit and try and get some solid, concrete answers to questions that they have.
Yeah, I looked at my watch. I was like, okay, 10 minutes in, I'm already stressed out. I was already stress eating. I was like, hey, this is too much.
Of course, we will see if this changes any future debates, whether it's in this election cycle or maybe even future election cycles as well. Coming up this morning, a piece of space history could be yours this week, thanks to one local auctioneer in Eastern Washington. After the break, the stories behind the treasures that'll take you to the moon.
And it's been 25 years since a Spokane native started as a quarterback for an NFL game, but that's going to change this weekend.
I know for a lot of the Seahawk fans around here, it's quite hard to stomach the Broncos, but you know what? They might be rooting for the Broncos this one night because of working for that.
That story is coming up in our next half hour.